Start that recording. Okay. Let me close this. Open this thing. Pop this thing open here. Okay, I'm going to move this down. Oh, that's going to be confusing. This is it's going to be great. Okay. You got your post-its ready? No. Post-its. I love it. All right. So, we're going to go to here. Hello. I'm going to hide me somewhere. Maybe over here. Maybe that works well. Okay. So, I'm going to click on a couple of these, just get them open. And Laura, you've got a scene as well. Pretty cool. Oh, wow. You guys posted a bunch of stuff. This is cool. So we'll start. We'll get to this. All right, cool. Let's start with the first one. So Leo or Leonard, bro. That body though. Why is it man, it feels so weird with no space up here. That's super strange. Is that literally the scroll that's at the top? No, dead deer. So this looks pretty cool. Created using UE5 Lumen custom RGBA masked multi-material system. Sick. Check out the breakdown below. So our goals for this group project were to create a high fidelity game ready scene, emphasizing telling micro narratives and utilizing new tools afforded by Unreal Engine 5. Man, these are so right off the bat, this shot is pretty strong. I feel like it's maybe a little cramped, right on the edge down here, and then just how it. I mean, maybe it's the. Let's go to this. Let's go to this shot. Let's just copy this image. All right. Oop. And we'll bring it into Photoshop here. It's probably going to be. Oh, it's not too much higher res. Not too bad. So, I think when it comes to the framing on the shot, this is where you start to get kind of. It gets a little funky. Let's use a color that we can see. So like this bottom edge here, you can see right here is like really, we call this a tangent where it cuts right into the frame. You want to watch out for those, and it just gives you some room to work with, right? There's quite a bit of blank space over here. These bottom areas, while they can be good areas of rest, they need to have some type of structural detail to them to kind of help them hold themselves up, so they just look more realistic. But I think this looks pretty cool. That poor deer, man, that's rough. I like the attention to detail with the moss that's like actually on the wood material. I think where things are maybe the weakest is maybe in the materials themselves. Like there's not understanding what this material is. Like we know this is wood, right? It's quite aged though. So you'd expect a lot of aging on it, as well as like where this meets. You want that detail there. Um, this is pretty nitpicky, but how this meets, like from this point on, how this meets the rest of the pillar, is a little difficult to understand. So that shape is a little odd. And then you can see with the roughness is quite simple. Like you can expect to see a lot of roughness break up because of how old everything is. This deer is, man, that is rough. um, but yeah, and a lot of these paintings, I guess, would maybe be more aged, a little bit more bleached or washed out. Happy Critique Day. Ooh, I like it. I like it. How you doing, Bray? Uh, But yeah, I mean, I think looking at reference would really be able to start to understand these types of areas, like this whole back area where this meets the wall, and getting a little bit more storytelling here, just to try and get rid of these laser lines, right? These would be called laser lines here. You're doing an okay job with them in this portion, even though it is quite straight. There's enough breakup there. There's a bit of a, I don't know what that is. It's like a noise in the normal. That's another thing you're going to want to look out for, because it makes the surface kind of strange to depict. Like the noise that's here should be different from the noise here, right? Because this is more of an exposed wood versus like a aged, previously nice varnished surface. And that'll change not only the roughness properties between the two, but also the detail normal that's being depicted between them. But yeah, I think those are the main. I love the particles floating around in the air. I think those are the main things, though, that are sticking out to me. You said this is a group project as well, so I think to material system. Let's keep going down this. This is really cool to see. We've got some boxes here. Those boxes look pretty good. There's a lot of like little micro narratives, like you're saying, micro storytelling. And all of this stuff's cool. I love the attention to the detail on the wallpaper peeling away and kind of aging and whatnot. I think some like large water stains where you can tell it soaked up water and then dried out would add a lot. And you can see again with the wood back here, it's pretty saturated and pretty uniform. Not in uniform in the way of like how the mask breaks like is duplicated between these, but just how the surface is reading from a roughness standpoint as well as like the saturation. It could use the age pass that the floor here has, for example. Oh yeah, see, this is great. This is really cool. And I think when you're using these types of color variation masks and ranges like this, there's a whole lot you can do when it comes to like where splattering happens and understanding what the patterns are doing. Like down here should definitely be some type of grounding mask that helps like connect the wall to the floor that you can use to like maybe in the AO and especially in the dirt. It's just going to be dirtier at the bottom, right? The color variation is pretty cool. If you can, it could be a little difficult, but you might be able to have a few different variations like this. What's up, Ben? At different gray values, and then you can actually step between those value ranges when you clamp and kind of move that value around, and you actually might be able to get more variation within the same channel, which could be kind of crazy. But this is super cool. Yeah, so it looks like you're vertex banding between moss. Ooh, look at that. That's really cool. In engine control for multi-material setups. Yeah, that's really nice. See, and that feels more accurate to like what I was expecting with that last bit there. This one maybe toned down a little bit, but a lot of the color and saturation gets lost in there. Yeah, but this is really great to show and present these types of techniques. I think the only thing I would maybe comment on is like really understanding. I also created a procedural material library, flexible. Let me see here. We also sought out to create workflow to enable us to iterate on assets quickly and utilize the power of procedural materials. Thus, we spent a while at the beginning of the project creating a dynamic shader that could leverage the power of tiling materials, mask generators within Substance Painter, and vertex painting to allow for flexible and iterative process. I mean, this is all really cool. I think so yeah, this is really good. Showing off all the breakdown. Are the wood materials triplanar, wood world textures, or UV specific? It looks like they're UV specific. Oh yeah, this is great. Ooh, look at that trim sheet too. Frame one. Yeah. Ooh, look at all this. That's cool. All right. Well, I mean, this looks pretty awesome. What is happening here? Look at all this breakup. That's really nice. There's just decals. Placed decals. Ooh, okay. There's hang on. We'll move on here in a second. I just want to highlight this. Where did it go? Boop, 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 boop. There. So this foliage here, really nice for breaking up these straight lines. Getting a little bit of that here and maybe even a little coming out from the edge of the shot would be really, really good looking by comparison of like the, not that the final image is bad or anything. It looks really nice. But that type of breakup is perfect for killing these straight lines. This is a group project. But yeah, I linked it in chat as well, so go ahead and check it out. Pretty nice though. I think a little bit more attention on materials, like the quality of the PBR values themselves, and understanding how they interpolate between each other with your smart materials. And I think you're off to the races. This is super cool. All right. Next up is we're gonna look at your Japanese post because we don't do portfolio reviews in the what is it, the Discord critique stream. So this looks pretty cool. I didn't realize how low poly it was until we saw this one here. I'll just copy this for you guys again. Hey, learn, no problem, man. That's me. What's up, man? So this looks pretty cool. There's some I'm curious what the materials look like. Like I'm seeing them on the surface here. Oh yeah, this is yeah. This is pretty good. So in the albedo you can see there's quite a bit of ambient occlusion. I think that's okay to add in there just to kind of emphasize it a little bit. It might be a little strong, so it's getting a bit of a stylized look. And I would say your poly count could probably be doubled easily without problem. Oh, I appreciate you posting your references in here as well. It's always nice to see where you're coming from. Yeah, 2100 tries. I'd go for like make this 5K. You can lod that out pretty nicely. You'd be all right. Because you want to maintain that roundness, right? You want to make sure that can get pretty nice and round. So you don't see if you can count the edges without the wireframe on, then it's definitely too low. And I think the roughness between the paint and the exposed, I guess that would be exposed metal. That's quite aged. Let's see. Cylinders always betray us artists, don't they? So the difference between, like, this might be too light, and if that is like a metal, you'll likely want to have like a metalness value on that, which will help you like really get the surfaces to pop from each other. Right now this doesn't come off as metal under the paint, so just to be aware of that. The box portion is connected to the cylinder. Any thoughts on that? Would it be better if it was separate or versus connected? Oh, down here? I mean, I think I would connect it for this example. But if it's really small in the scene, you could float it inside. Like just push it into it and call it good. There's also, maybe it's missing some detail normals. Like there's a lot of surface information that's happening in the normal itself here. You could probably do a lot more work if you had a mask that told you where the paint was and where the metal was, because then you could tile another normal inside of those. You'll get some really nice fidelity back for that in your materials. It needs bird poop. it needs yeah, bird poop would be nice. Having it grounded would be really cool. It could just be like a ground and dog pee. I mean, it needs to look like it's been, it's been in the world, right? It's got the aging and the chipping, right? But it doesn't have the human and like pet touch, if you want to call it that, and wildlife touch. Yeah, ground plane. I mean, it could even be a material that you didn't make, right? You can just download like a free material, ground it, and then add some like little grass cards, and you're golden. And that's more on like presentation, for sure. Getting that type of presentation out would be really nice. Would be really nice to see. And then you can see, okay, we're going to get into this one a little bit here. So in here, you don't need these points, right? This can be a straight line and the verts can be here. So like let's see here. Yeah, you don't need those. You can just have a vert. Oh man, come on. Oh, Windows, why are you doing this to me? Yeah, you can have you can have verts here and then connect everything to that point. If you need the center point, this would be an okay vert to add if you needed to try and clean up the way it's triangulating. Like if this is going to be like this, And that's just to distribute the triangles a little more even from each other, but you don't necessarily need that middle one. But cool. Nice stuff. Hey, thanks for the tier 1, man. And those thugs that spit on the floor. You know who you are. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's all about that storytelling. Okay, so next up is this material. Is this the reference? What is this? This is the reference here. Let me pull up the Discord so I can read this. So this is JC. Oh, also when you're posting in here for feedback, I'm just gonna give you a community tag because you're sticking your neck out there. You know what I mean? You're putting your face out there, your name, your portfolio. Your name's red now. Fire away, Den. Okay, so work in progress. Wood floor, far from perfect / finished. Needs some roughness plus some wear. Any critiques are welcome. All right, let's grab this. Let's go into Photoshop here. Don't show that again. Why is it prompting me about deleting layers? That's weird. It must have just recently updated. Okay, so I would say right off of the bat, so you've got some grain in the reference, right? And I think the grain, like this type of this grain pattern here, is, of course, it's in the normal, right? And I think getting the scale correct on that grain is going to be important. So it's the scale of the grain and the scale of the dividing points between the wood. Right now yours is quite exaggerated, quite wide and soft feeling. Don't be scared to make it thinner. Try to match those. Now the grain, like I was talking about, this is probably, you could try bringing in a different roughness to try and help you emphasize this so that it's not all of the normal map doing the work. I would assume that when you do it with a normal map, it's gonna what? Dude, that looks like a Stegosaurus. Are you seeing this? Yeah, I think if you try and do this with a normal map, it's just gonna get too crunchy sometimes. And trying to imply that information you might get a better result with it being in the roughness for sure. Um, Dan Dino expert. The other thing I'm noticing is, of course, the environment is a little. How would you say that? Like the roughness, the environment that these two materials are reflecting. Yours is probably a little bit more of a sterile environment versus this one looks like it's likely a window. Uh, you can see how the highlight here is quite uniform, and maybe the difference is in the pieces of wood themselves. Whereas like I see a lot of like cloud like patterns here. I would try and, instead of doing that, take all of the wood, set it at a certain roughness value, and then add variation in the individual pieces of wood. Just very, very slightly, like the difference of like 1 or 2 in value between each other. That'll probably get you a little bit more of a natural feel. Let me think what else we can pick up on here. And then the other thing is maybe like the saturation. Your albedo looks like it's quite saturated by comparison. If we lower the saturation, you can see even by like -34, we're getting closer to the values that we're seeing here. And even in the value, like I can see that you've got random ones that are darker and lighter from each other. These ones, I see it happen, but they don't tend to be too different from each other. And more often than not, they're quite close. And then you've got a few pieces. So trying to simulate that randomness in a not so designer random look, if that makes sense. Like designer does a pretty good job of like completely randomizing it. Whereas like, I guess it's good to completely randomize it. You just want to make sure that most of them are quite close together, and occasionally you get like a really light one like this or this piece here. But yeah, don't hesitate to make these thinner, and then maybe talk to Ben Wilson in chat if he's open to a quick chat to just talk about how much of this, like where does this tile, right? And like finding out if that's your tile, how many meters that is, right? So you can figure out like, okay, that's the density, the textile density of your material, and that'll help you figure out how to get these thinner within the resolution that you have. Super nice though. Feel free to, yeah, Ben, so helpful, so helpful. Okay, next up is Laura. Let's get this in here. There we go. Hello, hello. Okay, so Laura, you said been working on this on and off for a while. Need to add a cityscape in the window that mimics Brooklyn. But any feedback on composition would be awesome. Can be as general as it can be general as it's still early in development. I mean, this is starting to look like you're focusing on all of the elements here, and like this is getting a pretty good material on it. This looks like you've focused on it a bit as well. I think what I would do is, honestly, I would take some cubes and shapes and try and mimic that skyline, the Brooklyn skyline in the background. Just get that nailed in. Like even if it's just cubes and boxes and stuff, just so that you know what the end result of the shape of your where the sky is versus the buildings, and how to layer that. Hey Beta, no problem, man. So I think if you get that in there, that'll really help you understand what you're seeing. It also will affect the color depending on how close those buildings are. It's really gonna, it could block the lighting that's coming through. So I would just get that out of the way. That way you know exactly where your buildings are. And then I would just start pushing through the materials. I like how I would say that these are like broad stroke materials. Like you just got a value on there. and a roughness amount. Oh, that one looks like it's got a little bit more love. Yeah, so these ones I'm highlighting here, those ones look like they have like the base color on them, right? I would look at your reference for what you're looking at for a room, for the wall, the floorboard, and the floor texture, and just how these connect. And think about what's in this corner. You know what I mean? Like this corner's doing all right. There's stuff happening back here. Hey, thanks for that follow. But yeah, think about what's in these corners. Maybe some boxes and stuff. Just populate the corners with things that just kind of pack in the space. Like if this is someone's like living room, right? Or their dining room, but it's like a small like single person apartment. There's likely maybe there's a table here that's just out of shot, or like something that explains like the framing of, so like if this is your wall, let's see here, if you can get like a small table here, it gives you something to kind of like, something is here, and there's maybe there's a pot here, some more like plant stuff, maybe to be on the other side because of this chair. And just like it'll help you frame a bit more, because there's not a whole lot going on the walls, and you're gonna want some breakup on the walls anyways. But make sure that it just all feels like it's connected in a way, and that there's a logic to the room that you're in. Right now, it feels like, okay, you know what it feels like right now? It feels like I just got this apartment in, I'm going to guess Brooklyn, because there's no buildings back there yet. And we're moving everything in, and these are just the stuff that I brought in so far. And I know I have a bunch more stuff to bring in, so I'm just shoving it to the back while I get everything into the apartment, and I'll decorate later. You want it to look lived in, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Some pretty cool props, and I think the fidelity will really turn up once you start pushing these materials together and getting some surface breakup on them. Let's see, STG Sargus. Let's see what's going on here. Here. Why? No, that's not what I want. Okay, so you made a synthwave Unreal Marketplace showcase video. Don't forget the T in here. Synth. This is unlisted. Should I not share this? Neon City. Dude, this is pretty cool. Trying to see. Okay. So all of this looks pretty cool. I don't know how much of it. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Up here looks really cool. I don't know if you need this long of a video, because I think, so when we're here, this is pretty iconic. This shot here, like getting that pan up. Now, keep in mind, that's that speed that it's moving. That's your speed at full, right? So we'll consider that speed 1.0, right? You can see this one also feels like it's close to 1.0. So does this one. And if we go, this is moving up, this is moving right, still right, going right. That transition's really nice. Still looks like we're going at 1.0 speed. That this transition, I love duck transitions where you go behind something and come out the other side and it's a different scene. You're like, oh, it feels good on the brain. The little wrinkles in my brain are excited. This shot, this one here, this one looks slower, and it's not because you're panning left, right, up, or down. It's because you're focused on a point and you're pulling it down, right? So you've got your point and you're pulling it down, looking at that. So things close to you are going to be moving faster, but things in the distance don't really look like they're moving. So this shot actually pops out really quickly as feeling a little out of place. You've got quick movements here, and you see that? It almost looks like it's still. Like, boom, it's still, but it's actually moving, and you don't know until the closer elements pass by. So I think instead of changing the way you're moving your camera, try and stay consistent with that. And maybe see that this shot is also kind of weird that it slows down at the end here and it stops right as you go to another shot. Now, when you start getting these street shots, like these are really cool. This shot right here, going from here to a big open shot is going to be more rewarding than this shot, I think. Like going from here to like this type of shot, this is pretty cool. So just keeping that in mind with all those types of movements that you're doing. Also think about like how jarring it is if you go left in a shot and then the next shot is going right. You want to try and think about the flow of a camera. I don't know, like a dragon. Does that make sense? So if we do this, let's like even ignore, like imagine there isn't any shots. And this is just camera movement. So you have a camera do this. And you want it to flow, right? And it's doing that. Now, if you think about it like this, think about this as the movement of a camera. So if you have a camera going left to right, and then you have a camera going up and down, like here's another camera. So if you have a camera going left to right, and then one going up to down, up, down, up, then you want to try and find a way to get those to not feel so jarring. And it could be establishing a shot that's either doing this type of curve or a shot where it doesn't feel so weird transitioning from this one to this one. You're finding a space in between. It's the same with like, you wouldn't want to go from a left to right shot to a right to left shot just because it would be really jarring. You'd want to find ways to kind of transition from shot to shot without it being confusing to the viewer or where they feel like out of place. But yeah, I think you could probably make this video 45 seconds, maybe a minute. If you get it under a minute, you can put it on ArtStation, right? So that's always nice. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool scene. Some interesting materials too. More geometry would be nice here. But I guess it depends what you're using it for, right? Super nice, dude. All right, we got Ghost up next. Did a small diorama practicing for a bigger scene. Would like to know how to spice up presentation or if you see any jankiness in the piece. So the tiki, let's go. We'll just link this here. Okay. So first initial presentation is like dead on, like right at you. I would say try and be more dynamic like this one. I think this one could be cool if you were doing like a really close panning shot, right? Fire, I'm not opposed to the way you've done it here. It's quite interesting actually. And that looks like a walk on the top there. Delicious. So with these, I don't know what you're rendering this in. These little dots, I would probably have them camera facing, so they're always, it's marmoset. Do they have a camera facing material? I'm not sure, but getting these camera facing would be really nice, because then they're always there, and you don't get this weird thing where you see the side of the card. For the ferns, these like leaves down here, I would try and, I don't think they do that by default. Like you'd have to buy a shader. You mean is what you're saying? I would try and like do this. Just some leaves that are a little bit higher, right? Just so that you don't have, it's not so flat. Right now it's quite flat by comparison. Let's see what else we got going on here. The other thing I would say is I don't know what the materials are made out of. They're all quite muted, which I think is okay. It's from this concept. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, it's so it's pretty muted in its material range, right? Man, this is cool. But you can see there's like some nice gradients in here. So I think, is this gonna paste? Yes, it will. I'm gonna go down here, copy. Oh yeah, nice. This is it. I'm doing it. Full comparison. You ready? Here. Oh yeah. Okay. They may have a plugin for it. That's good to know. So some things to look for. So you've got this color here. All right. You've got this like this mossy stuff here, which I assume is this. Thinking about where that's at and giving a lot of logic to it whenever possible is going to be beneficial, especially when it's like right now I see it on this material only. At least that's how I'm perceiving it. And here you can see it's here. It's especially showing up on edges. And then it's also collecting up on the tops of everything around it, right? So like if you can get that type of detail in your painting, that's going to be really nice, because then you'll have this logic that kind of pulls all of the materials together, which is it looks really good, right? Now down below it's happening again as well, but it's also a little bit of an inverted approach. Instead of being on the tops of things, sure, it's on the tops here, but to bridge the gap, it's also on the bottom sides of this. You see a little bit here, maybe a little bit in these areas. Just highlighting wherever I see it. And I'm sure there's some more. I'm just not highlighting all of it. So there's those. That's super nice. If you can get those effects in there, that would be really good. For the style that you're seeing with this type of concept, it's very much a lot of gradients, right? So a lot of gradients going on, as well as highlights. So you could go in and so if you've got where are we at here? If you've got this shape, right? There's this highlight that's on the edge, and you want to make sure that you're getting those in your texture painting, because they're really important for really showing the gradients and getting all these details in. And that was the other thing I wanted to mention is gradients. There's a ton of gradients going on. So you've got if we sample this middle part and then the corner, you can see there's variety in the colors that are happening, and you just kind of have to set a rule for yourself on how you want to display that. So one of the common rules for third person or like RTS games, they usually go for gradients from the bottom up. How do you separate the gradients from the lighting though? You turn the lighting off, literally. That's what you would do. So that you would not really do a PBR approach. I mean, you could do PBR, but I think if you go for an unlit view and you just worked with gradients, RTS games are gonna be, or yeah, RTS games like a League of Legends style game is usually doing a gradient where the bottom of the object or the bottom of the character, for example, is darker, but then the top area is brighter. Right? Let's grab this one. The top of the character is brighter, and as it goes down, it becomes the bottom is usually the value of the rest of the environment. That way, the environment is kind of pushed down in visual value range, but then the tops of the characters really pop out from the rest of the environment, and they kind of display themselves to you clearly. That's super important, I think, for some type of competitive game. But I would watch for these gradients and really try and build into them, because you can get some good values going on here. And then you get those nice gradients. You can do gradients in Substance Painter really easily as well. Should I be painting it as blue? So the side had blue shadows. You're talking about this here. So there's a filter in Substance Painter which allows you to put shadows in the material. So you could turn the lighting off, and then with that, you can make a layer that's the color that you want. Have it as like a overlay or a multiply. Lower the value of it until you get it where you want. And then there's a filter that you can put in that's like shadows, and that will give you the mask. That'll give you the mask that you that would be for your shadow, and then you have direct control in a painted way the shadow information. And you can do that with multiple layers. Like if you need the undershadow to be quite dark, you can do that undershadow as this color, right? And then side shadows maybe are, oh, these are quite similar. Interesting. You can actually see that in the tentacle stylized video I did a while back, last year. I think it was last year. You can see it on the ArtStation. There's 2 videos where I'm texturing, and it'll be in there. That's when I actually discovered it. I was like, yo, this is sick. This is so powerful. Now, the other thing that's missing is these tiles on the ground. Make sure you get those, and you get this nice, like, this break up here with the sand that right now I don't think you have. It's just those attention to detail that are really going to, like, push it to the limit. And you can see there's even gradients in the leaves, right? Like this, I wouldn't consider that a shadow. That's more of like gradient information. But yeah, Ghost, like Eric's saying, it's super cool to see you playing with some stylized stuff. It's really cool. But very cool. And see, your fire is very yellow. Try going with this more orangish color, I think. See how that works for you. Yeah, the sand would look awesome if you painted it. More stylized work in the Empire? Dude, I'm all about it. But yeah, really cool stuff, man. No problem, Ghost. Thanks for submitting your stuff. Valerie. I'm a generalist trying to specialize into props and environments and make the jump into AAA. This is my hero prop for the upcoming diorama. Let's see what's going on here. Oh. Why does this look from dual disc? I'm like, why does this look familiar? Dude, that's sick. Oh, yes, that's why. Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's go. Man, nothing. It's time to duel. Nothing is nicer to see than some movement. And the fact that you've got like oh man, yeah, that's cool. You have the emissive, this stuff here. Oh, that's super nice. Movement. Did you even have a childhood? What are you talking about, man? I feel attacked. My childhood was before Yu-Gi-Oh. How about that? Shots fired. Uh, this is pretty sick though. Ooh, look at those materials. My game ready prop based on the dual disc from Yu-Gi-Oh. Custom UVs and animated the UV offset on a gradient. Yeah, dude. This looks pretty cool. The materials are quite stylized. I guess I would say watch out for like too much unexplained breakup in the roughness. It's totally okay for this to be quite smooth. And like when modeling, I don't know in the original, is there like an original image of this? Man, that looks sick. Oh wow, when the bottom, oh look at that. That's so cool. I mean, your camera is real close and it makes the materials look lower res, you know? So watch out for that. The thing I was saying about the breakup here, it's totally okay for there to not be too much breakup. Like that can smooth out, and based on like how it's modeled, depending on what it's like in the cartoon, it's probably quite sharp. Um, don't hesitate to try and make this work a little better than being like a really sharp point that it comes to. And like where these meet up, that's probably a really good area for high detail. Like maybe some points and some diodes that look like they're when it closes up, they meet and then it connects and, you know, powers up. So like by those connecting, right? By those connecting there, it's like you would expect to see some connecting points. I think that would look really cool. Just that extra layer of detail. And try and get some roughness variation. You got a little bit going on the top here, but like the difference between this and this bottom piece, I'm not sure if this is like a clear coat paint or like a metal, or because some of it looks like metal, some of it, I think it looks like all of it's metal. I think for the white area, you probably don't want that to be metallic. Or if it is metallic, maybe it would be metallic paint, where in that case you would add like a speck, you know, in car paint we have the little flakes in it. Get that in there, and then when it's chipping, that's when you see the metal attributes. And be careful of the card being too black, just for PBR sake. But really cool. Adam, yo, yeah, posting stuff. Okay, making some progress. All furniture is finished. Way to go, Carpenter. Got some books going with the. Let's see here. Look at these books. Hey, Valerie, appreciate you posting your work. Super cool to see. I think. Let's see here. Books going with some world-based tint. Look through, looking for thoughts on falling debris. And the wall ends gonna have tapestry on top of the bricks, so the walls are in the layers. Let's see here. Look at this resolution. So this is awesome. I wouldn't. I mean, oh yeah, and I see that the sim isn't taking into account this piece right here yet, right? I wouldn't. I wouldn't hesitate to make it like go all the way out here and stretch to this side. Like you could make this like 2 times larger, and no one would like look at that. Yeah, it's not resimmed yet. I think you can make this twice as big, and no one would bat an eye. No one would realize it. They would just like, man, that looks cool, because you would imply all the shapes, right, by the way it's resting on the wood. Be careful about the weight. Right now, it looks quite heavy in the material. But yeah, let's see what's going on here. Dang, dude. There's some story going on here. This is all looking pretty cool. The detail that's up here, I find it a little strange that the bottom is different from here, like stylistically. Wall looks pretty cool. Nice presentation. This looks nice. The books feel like they need maybe some gold patterns and or some text or letters or something on the sides here. Just so that you can see how they're all kind of in the same value range as well. Look at some other bookcases that are really kind of pushing the variety and see why they're not. Like find a reference or a concept where you can actually see like a bookshelf where the books aren't pulling your attention. Because like I bet you the value of the books, like value color wise or brightness wise, not in there, they're not really high price books, you know. The value of the books is darker, right? And maybe the saturation is a little bit more unified. Ole. Ollie, how you doing, man? These shadows still weird me out, mainly because there's nothing to see to help explain them. I don't know how else to say it. Dude, this scene's looking good, man. It's really coming together. Is that brick wall? Is this going to be the wall that's all throughout the space itself? Tuning for the stash. Holly. No, just the Megascans temp. Okay, cool. Yeah, I would really get your wall materials on there. We just critiqued Jared's progress on his stash. That's awesome. Um, Depending on where your books are at, like if some of them are stacked on this table, for example, like they are here, don't hesitate to put like a little, those little fabric bookmarks. Zionic. That's good. And these books are huge. These are like look at how big they are to this guy's hands. Because like make sure you're looking at the scale of those because these feel massive. The bottom ones look all right. Maybe these are Ben. I'm trying to focus, guys. But yeah, the scale of these books and these are so different. I would try and unify those a bit more. They really become obvious once the character's standing there. And then I guess we just need a little bit more breakup on like how the floor is, like a fine line for where the cracks in the wood are. I was thinking maybe they're charts of the people he's killed before. And I'm not sure what's happening here, but the resolution of these textures is super low, but only in here. Like here it looks really nice. But yeah, cool, man. It's really coming together. I think you should get something on that wall. It'll help inform you on a lot of other decisions. Might have been a quick screen grab. I get that. I get that. You like open the editor, screenshot. You didn't let it like load all the. It's all good, man. Walls are scheduled for Monday. Nice. Vince, are you in chat? Are you in chat, sir? Look at this scene. A plant would be nice. Vince, what's up, man? Next to your name, it says Pixel Knots. Is that a studio? This is looking super sick. Yeah, that's a studio. Okay, well, now you're yellow. So, there you go. Uh, yeah, this is looking pretty cool. It feels a little blurry to me. Someone's a heavy reader. Don't call me yellow. let's bring it in here. Dude, this is that's gonna be cool. Okay, so when we look at this scene, so right now there's not a lot happening over here, and this is so far back that the atmosphere is actually not matching the sky. Same with this building, but I mean maybe you'll get to that eventually. Yeah, the space between the stones looks huge. Yeah, this scene has come a long ways. It's looking really cool. I would say the roughness on everything is pretty uniform. This area right here feels really nice. Really nice. The door, I don't know where the door meets the ground. That feels a bit odd. And just the handle being the same on each door. I appreciate the piece of wood here. Maybe swap the handle out or remove the handle on one of them just to get some breakup. Oh, no way, bronze? All right, man. I'm looking forward to it. But I think you might be able to I think you might be able to frame it a little tighter. Maybe a little bit more up. And then if you can get this building into like the same value. Yeah. Whoop. It's almost like you don't want to. Hmm? Hmm. Side effects. What's up? The other thing is it's really hard to tell like where things are at. Like, let's see here. So right now we've got what I'm imagining is we've got this building here, right? And it kind of goes like this. And then we've got this one, which actually meets this building. So you get this weird separation thing where it doesn't really separate. I think it just goes straight down like this, right? And it just meets the same wall. So if there was a way to like get some more separation on how these are all set up, like lighting here, I don't know if you need lighting on these. I'm trying to see because like with how it's all propped, this doesn't look like somewhere you can go, right? And you want to lead I'm assuming you want to lead the viewer this way. And the way the lights are on the windows, you want to rely on the actual emissive from the window doing a lot of the lighting. And that would actually lead to the lights only really illuminating like these edges, right? Just because of the angle of this, it wouldn't really light the windows in that way. So right now your lighting I think is kind of complicating like what you're trying to lock in. The thing is though, man, like this little spot here, there's a couple of these. Like if you zoom in, like this area looks pretty cool. This specific one, like this spot could be its own. Like turn all the lit windows off and just take this. And you've got a little scene here. Oh man, it looks so cool. Be careful with the uniformity of the little grass blades between the stones, and definitely make them a little bit more extreme on the edges, right? So like in here, it's going to be pretty mellowed out, but on the sides, like it gets pretty long in these areas. Maybe not around the door, but like in these back areas, you're going to get much more like grass buildup. Like this is okay what you've got going on here. Right now it's really difficult to see the scene where it's at, like how everything is positioned. Compositionally, it's really busy. And I mean, it's difficult to read it with the way the lighting is, and then the atmosphere stuff that you've got going on in the buildings here. It probably just needs a relight to help you depict where things are at. And it's mainly a relight of the non-natural lighting, like where the windows are coming, where the windows are like adding the light. But yeah, man, the scene is looking cool. I want to like see more of that. But it looks really nice. Same with this area, like that could be its own shot, you know? Don't hesitate to take the door and push it in a little bit so you get a bit of a frame around it as well, you know? Cuz that'll give you some more depth as well and give you some extra shadows for free. Really cool. It's really cool, man. Caden would really appreciate some feedback on your goblin head sculpt and presentation. Let me check this out. That's no goblin. Oh, dude, what? All right. Oh, I have a message. Guys, I've got a message. So modeling wise, this is pretty sick. You could maybe add a little bit more geo so you don't get the angles on the top here. Really cool like concept though. Um let's get you that red tag here as well. But this looks awesome. So from this view, this looks pretty cool. From the front view, uh it looks a little strange, and I think it's because of the structure of the where the jawline is versus the cheekbone. And then the ears are very like close to the head. I wonder if you can like he's judging you guys. Let's see here. Like if you took, I mean, I could probably just try and melt this, but I'm not gonna try that. If this was like coming in a bit more, right? Then you get more emphasis on the cheekbone, because you want this to pop, right? And then this jaw muscle, or this, not muscle, but this jawline here is very similar here, as well as like parallel to it, right? So you want to maybe like push this in a little bit more. And then with the, let's see if we can do this. Then the ears. I don't think this is possible, but if you were seeing more of the ear, that might give you an extra leg up on the like understanding what you're looking at. Because I think how close they are to the head feels really strange. Yeah, if I can get this to something like that. I don't know. But just being able to see the ears more is likely going to help. Zoom in more. It's just going to help with like understanding the whole shape of the head and like how it's all structured. But man, this view here is really cool. Yeah, the camera FOV is too wide, which is taking a portrait shot. You really want to narrow your FOV. Something between 40 to 20 FOV would be fine. Yeah, I mean when you take portrait shots, like you can really flatten a face out, which they do a lot on like portraits, right? Especially for like IDs and passports. But then when it's like a portrait photo, it's usually 55. Yeah, 55 is good for a character. But yeah, 40 to 20, you want to play with that. And there's some really good videos on that type of stuff. Now, when it comes to texturing, that is super cool. And I think you should try and get a difference in roughness of the paint versus the skin. It'll really push. 80 millimeters is standard for portraits. Oh, interesting. Man, I'm not tuned into that stuff very well, so that's really cool. But this looks good, man. I think it's just a matter of tuning in those values for how the face is and those extra details. Um, but yeah, hopefully that was helpful. And it was the cheekbone to the jawline ratio, like figuring out how that looks, which might be solved with the FOV. Because from that 3/4 view, it looked pretty good. Sarah coming in hot with a carousel horse. Um, I mean, this looks pretty cool. I think let's copy this and see where we're at. How you doing? Good to see you. I think for the flow of the tail, right? We're gonna just smooth this out so I can. You want to make sure that you loop this around and do because they always do this kind of swish, right? Where it kind of loops back through. What else we got here? Carousel. I'm just gonna look up some images really quickly. That is a giraffe I just saw on a carousel. That's not how this works. Um, oh man, some of these pictures are terrifying. So some stuff to maybe emphasize is like where this connects. Just sharpening it up just a little bit and not letting it melt too much in these points. I guess this is going around here, isn't it? But yeah. The other thing is these being under the hair or on top of the hair. Giraffes need jobs too. They do have jobs, man. They're naturally built with ladder abilities to get to high parts of trees. Um, so this looks logical, right? Having this on top of the hair, but the design when you look at them, uh, they tend to have the hair that goes in front of the eye and like whip around here. They also have like you've got this piece here. They'll have one going over and around, one that's way up here, and then kind of loops back down over the rest. And you'll want to. I'll just do this so you can see the separations. But yeah, these go pretty wild. Um, and it looks like you're gonna get a much more dynamic look if like even though you've got this shape here that you get the hair over the top of it just to get that breakup. Um, and then if you can design the saddle to like be built in with how it connects here, man, that would be sick. That'd be so cool. Thanks for all the feedback. Definitely mess with the FOV and fix the jawline cheekbones ratio. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, hopefully that helps out. I appreciate you posting. It was cool. Some nice texturing. You think I have a future as a hairdresser? Thanks, Ollie. I mean, you want to see this is a picture I'm looking at. That guy. That's serious. But anywho, Think about anything you can do. True passion. That's passion right there. Looking at these types of details here. God, I'm gonna hide that guy. Um, that's also another benefit of like something you can design into this, right? Where maybe there's like tassel designs coming around like this. Could be really cool. But yeah, it's just thinking about how to get the overall look to really like push itself. Dad energy. You're not wrong. Oh man, really cool though. Let me see how the other shapes are looking here. I mean, these all look pretty accurate actually. You'll of course want to sharpen up these details here, um, and make sure this is straighter before it starts to round. But really nice stuff. Let's see what else we got here. The Carmen, what's going on with Carmen here? Ooh. Hello, everyone. Let's check this out. Look at that. Hope DefCon's in chat. Yo. Does the snout look too small? Did it? I think you might be right. The snout might be a little small, Anik. Dude, look at this. Where is it at? Come on. Let me rewind nicely. Can't I just scrub? What is this? This? Dude. Oh, that's nice. So, Carmen says, "Hello." That's all she said. But ooh, look at that. Oh, it's animated. Oh my god. Man, when it opens too and then it finishes opening, it's like at the back there. You see it? Look at right here. When it opens and it swings a little bit. Oh my god. Just makes it come alive. Yes, it does. Look at that presentation. Oh my god. Oh, dude, what? Okay, hang on. I'm getting overly excited here. Hang on. Look at that resolution. Okay, we gotta boom. That's a lot of wood materials there. Whoa, so the butt of the gun is also what holds the gun? That's freaking cool. This is me. Thank you very much. This looks great. And you know what's really interesting is because you've lined up all of the elements down here. This area looks cool. This is like this is sick. Yeah, this is very impressive, Carmen. I feel like that 9, is that a 9? Might be a little dark. I don't know. I'm trying to see what else I could feedback on. My god, that's some I'm curious what this looks like without without the butt of the gun. Man, that is, yeah, that's this is really nice. Super nice. This is my latest work where I've been following the tutorial of Simon. Oh yeah. Simon's good, man. Ooh, this is sick. presentation as well. It doesn't have the same kind of. Oh, okay, that's why. Wow. Okay, let's copy this image. So let's see how we can push this just a little bit further. These are really nice renders. Presentation is super nice. The bullets here feel like they're floating. The roughness is killing you. Is that a good or a bad thing? The roughness of the rounds in a good way. Ollie, I couldn't read it. I couldn't read what you were saying there. So some things that you could do. So let's duplicate this layer. Let's do a filter and a other high pass. We'll go in. See, we get these nice little crunchy details here. Man, look at that. And then go in and just do like a overlay. And you get these really nice, like crunchy images. You can get these to pop certain details. We'll just put a layer on there, invert that layer so it's not visible. And then we'll just do like a really quick and dirty, like this is where I want detail, right? Like maybe you want it here, a little bit here. Some of this area here with the highlight, maybe it's a little too crunchy, but don't worry about it yet. Getting these details in, this whole area here, you want all that crunchiness. Maybe some areas here a little soft. Just make those pop a bit, right? And then we go in. Let's make it pop a little bit more in a few other spots. There we go. Okay. And you can see it's like really sharp. It gets crunchy. So then you can toggle this on and off, and we can look at the image here. I'll go at 100% zoom so we're not looking at. And you can see it's popping just where you want it. If we alt click the mask, you can see where I was trying to highlight some areas. Captain Crunch, let's go. Then you can take that whole layer and just drop it to 0 and just turn it up until it feels right, maybe like 50% or so. Last thing you want to do, let's see if we can select this. Nice. What? That's ridiculous. This selection tool is crazy. I don't know, man. It can be pretty powerful. Some areas it's not really working out all that well, but it's okay. What can you do? So let's just take that. We'll dupe it, put it at the top here, and then do like a blur. Gaussian blur. Just turn this up. I don't know if this is too much or not. We'll do a screen. And then a mask again, same approach. Invert. And then just bring it back where we want those highlights. Right? Probably don't want it in too many areas. And then go in, grab this layer, and turn it all the way down. And then just turn it up just a little bit. That'll give you some like really subtle gradients where you wouldn't normally get them. Oof. This for the bloom? Yeah. And you don't want to go too crazy with it, right? But this is a very nice asset. You should be very proud of this. It's crazy good. Look at that thing. What the hell? Yeah, because we can turn this off. Or maybe we can dupe this on top here. Turn these all on. And then you can see like the difference. Just getting a little bit more. It's so subtle. So subtle. But it really will do wonders. Anyways. Add your name here. Yeah, you could put your name here. These rounds I feel like are floating is the only other thing that really kind of gets me. Medi. What's up? How you doing? You're next. Went for a stylized scene. Let's go. Ooh, so soft. Went for a stylized look, mostly practicing my lighting and compositing. Is it compositing or composition? My ultimate goal is to make a Pixar level environment. I like this. You know your model's good when Dynasty's just talking about presentation tricks. Hey, no problem. Thanks for posting. I would love to see some work in progress stuff and critiques from you. That's like crazy. Some good stuff. Okay, so you want to make a Pixar level environment at some point. I know I'm way too far away from that. Also, do you think it's a good portfolio piece? So this, yes, good portfolio piece. I don't think you're that far away. I think at this point, this looks like more of a stylistic choice, where Pixar like would have a look like this if they wanted to go for this look, right? So the only thing I would say is over here, it really feels like there's some chromatic aberration going on. Do you see it over here? Like in this area? The particles in the air feel pretty cool. I don't think there would be much particles up here. Hmm. You have a really nice consistent bevel that's going on. Yeah. Yeah, you use lens distortion. Yeah, so you're getting a chromatic aberration. It's happening over here as well. Really, really subtle. You'll see it much more here. I'm not too much of a fan of that just because it usually gets overdone. Uh, just be careful with it, I guess. Disnots, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I use lens distortion. Okay, yeah, yeah. Feels like a Pixar choice though. They shine in the sunbeam. Yeah, the sunbeam ends here, doesn't it? I only see the beam here. If it was higher up, that would work. I think that's fair. But the shadows, man, this looks good. Color palette wise, looks really nice as well. Nice light diffusion here. What are you rendering this in? Cycles? Very nice. Yeah, this looks great. Uh, I like this whole blank canvas thing. I'm trying to figure out if the scene is too full already because I want to see more of these canvases, maybe like off to the side or something. I think with Pixar, the stuff that they're adding now with their visuals is they tend to add these like the color palette is superb, honestly. Um, but like really small stuff, like some little grains of the dirt. That seems to be the little details that we see nowadays. A rug would be pretty cool. I don't know if there's enough room for it in this shot. I don't have too much to add to this though. Maybe a little bit. No. The attention to how the walls meet the ceiling is quite impressive. You've been able to figure out how to make walls meet each other and a ceiling meet the wall without it looking like it's kind of. Is there a bevel in there? Wallpaper? I think I would make it too busy. The normal on here as well is really nice. Not near the canvas though, because for real life perspective, paint will land on it and stain it. I'm surprised I'm not seeing a rag anywhere. You know how like painters always have the slight bevel on the wall? Oh, I knew it. Knew it. Yeah, it's a great effect. Getting a inner bevel does wonders. If you ever have a scene where you need a wall and ceiling to meet, and there's not, it like needs to be empty, make sure they're welded together and beveled. The only thing I can think of is more pushed roughness in the light. Pixar loves pushing it off. Yeah, little highlights. Yeah, right now everything's quite soft, so it's got more of a Wallace and Gromit vibe to it, with the type of materials bouncing around. Painting equipment should look more used. Yeah, I agree with that. And like I was saying, a rag or something like that. Clay vibes. Yeah, you're not getting very many highlights, so everything's very clay-like. The only thing that's quite reflective is the metal here, and then the glass that's here. And the only reason I know the glass is there is because that reflection. This chair could look a little bit more sat on. This chair feels like it might be a little big as well. I don't know. But this is really cool. I don't have too much to say on it. A few more like micro props that can help like tell the story a little bit more even, and I think you're good. Painter's apron, yeah. I mean, if this shelf was sticking out a little bit further, I'd expect to see some like pencils and other stuff like resting on the edge of that. That could be kind of a cool detail. It's just surprisingly tidy for being so detailed, if that makes sense. And paint on the easel would be a good call. No, because like you're painting here and you're going, you're going nuts. It's gonna get on the frame. But yeah, I don't have too much else to add to that. The spacing of the paintings from each other could be adjusted, maybe. They're all pretty similar. I don't know. So really, it's really nice as it is right now. You could put this on ArtStation. The frames can be thicker. Yeah, varying the frames could be helpful. But yeah, super cool. I'm sorry I don't have more I can give you. Let's see what's next. I would love to see more of this as well, just so you know. Really cool. Okay, Nick, what's good, man? All right, so tossing in some work for my little Dune. Says it CH entrance, design and lighting, all mega scans in UE5. Cool. I mean, so right off the bat, this is looking pretty cool. There's an entrance here. You got some nice lighting going on. I think where it's breaking is so you have these smaller rocks down here at the bottom. You need those smaller rocks. Here, let's get this. Ooh, look at that gun. If we zoom in here, you're gonna want some like more connecting rocks, right? And those are like the ones here. Oh, what? Oh, there we go. The ones in this area that help bridge the gap between the wall and the sand. And that looks like these ones out here, just kind of brought over and just scattered throughout to try and help you transition. The nature of the lines in the rock is really good. Just make sure that you follow that pattern as you continue out this way, because all of the rocks are, it's the same rock. Now the scale of the steps, you lose that scale once you get out here. So if there's any way to do anything to bring that type of scale up front, maybe it'll be like the footprints in the sand, that get you there. That'll be super useful. The other thing is I can see you're getting some type of transition going on here. You really need to blend this the edge of the rocks everywhere with the sand, just to get that to not be so harsh. Um, Pillars look really cool. They have the same kind of shape read, which is good. Yeah, you try and clear up a path. It does feel like there's nowhere to go. It would be nice if there was more of a path, right? Like Eric's saying here. Yeah, that would definitely help, I think. Because you can still have the rock coming through. You just want to open it up more. Oh man, I'm just killing it with these painting skills right now. Terrible. Terrible damage. But yeah, you want to make it look like there's somewhere to go. Go back out here. You really want to open it up so there's a path. And again, you can see like this edge here. You get this edge with the rock and it just stops there. There's this. But you want to like take these guys and just put them, just connect it all up. If you want to think about it like this, uh, the path, the path that's open here. Maybe it's like that. I don't know. Maybe like this. From here and here to this open area, you almost want it to be like a curve, right? Rocks to no rocks, small rocks to little rocks to large rocks again. This is this back here super interesting. I love this with the pillars. And I guess when it comes to the lighting, I would really try and I don't know if there's natural lighting that pops out of this and the doorway is like super bright, or if it's supposed to just feel super natural and you have to go from there. Some variation in the ground texture would be nice as well. Yeah, definitely. All you have to do is like, I mean, it looks like you've got this one and then you've got this kind of like cakey looking one. Um, I would find one that's even smoother than this and try and blend and break those up. I think some footprints in the sand that actually displace the sand is going to do a huge amount for you. Sand variation is one thing, and then the other thing is probably the maybe like the saturation of it. Yeah, right now it's really orange, right? Maybe something like that. Let's see if the other thing to keep in mind is the sky is blue, right? So if the sky is blue, there should be some blue bouncing around in here somewhere. Like maybe this one should have more of a where you camera raw filter. Let me see here. Whoa, it's 9:35 already. Oh no. Okay, we're getting there though. We're getting there. Temperature. Yeah, if we turn those blues up, right? Let's dupe this one. Delete the mask, and we'll tone this down. You get a bit more blue into your rock. That's coming from the sky, and then the warmth of the sun. It's pretty cool though. I think this needs to feel like more ominous. I don't know if that's the right term for it. Um, let's see here. It's like you want to take this and just push that darkness. Nice, as I make it green. Maybe it should be closer to this value. Yeah. Look at that. Just not seeing in there. Tells you there's something back there, yo. And I don't know if you should trust it. But yeah, it's looking cool. Definitely smooth out all those transitions. And don't hesitate to get some sand on the tops of these rocks. It'll really help the shape pop a bit more. But yeah, this is looking really cool. Dude, that look, man, I want to go there now. I want to check that out. It's kind of terrifying. Okay. Martin, you're next. Let's see what's going on here. I was trying UE5 here and trying to work with storytelling. Noble's bedroom. Oh, this is cool. There's a lot of there's stuff going on in here. So the storytelling I feel like is really subtle. Here, I'll link this in chat as well. Yeah, that last piece is really sick. Keep up the awesome. It's nice work, Nick. So there's a lot going on here. Lots of details, lots of things for you to look at. So it's a little hard to focus. Now, and you can see here, this is really interesting. Let me go back up to this. So when you look at this shot's really easy to read, right? You can see what you're looking at. You can understand the room. That candle is maybe a little strong in its strength, but you can really see everything in here, and the detail on the materials for normals and stuff look pretty good. Maybe the headboard of the bed looks a little simple, but the propping in general looks really nice. It looks like they were playing some type of game here with the table as well and the cups. But you can see once you get to here, it's really difficult to read. Really hard to read. Let's see if I can grab this. And where are we at here? Yeah, cool. And then is that other one? Let's see if it's the same frame. That'd be amazing if it was. Close. Very close. Let's see if it is the same. It is. Yo. So there's some storytelling that's a little weird, like the apple core on the bed. I wouldn't have that there because it's just it draws your eye. But you can see as we turn this on, it becomes harder to read, and I'm not sure. It might have to do with the value because you can see here. If we make it black and white. Ooh, David, good link. Good link. Texturing values for environments. You see, if we make this black and white, it doesn't change all that much. Right? But then if we take this one, make it black and white, you can see the readability between the two. Oops. What am I doing here? There we go. Like the value of the bed, if it was brighter, it would pop out more. Let's see if we can bring these back. I mean, maybe We can do a quick example of that. Just going to eyeball this. It's not going to be perfect. It's funny because now that looks super out of place, but it actually looks closer. It looks a little washed out as well, right? So I think if you get closer to like this value, you're getting closer to it. And of course, like this is the way I'm doing this is a bit hacky, so it's not gonna look as good as if it was actually done that way. Highlights, no, we need midtones. You can push that back, but it's those types of details and really getting that is perfectly the same. Let me see this. Is it this one? There we go. Okay. So this was posted 6 years ago, but it's pretty spot on. And you should definitely follow this guy. He's awesome. I'll just I'll link him in chat here. Some solid breakdowns of like what is going on and how the grayscale value of just textures. This one's clearly very dark, and you can see how all the details are kind of in the same value range. 80% of the room is well below 50% gray. And the two brightest spots are the light bulb and the ceiling. Man, you could make an indirect light bounce stronger with all of these light sources. It should be way brighter. I mean that is true, but also um, if the albedo is dark and the values are all kind of close together, lighting isn't gonna like. It's just gonna uniformly bring the overall value up. Whereas like you want like some nice separation of elements to understand the composition better, in combination with the lighting likely being brighter as well. Ollie, have a good evening, man. Oh, there's the in the second part. Okay, hang on here. Where is that at? Part two. What? Where did it go? I lost it. Oops. Texture. I'm like, where did it go? There it is, part two. Okay. It's pretty interesting. I've never seen it visualized. Oh, yeah, dude. Second pass, third pass. So I've never seen it visualized. Let me link this in chat. I've never seen that layering visualized like that. Where is it at? This type of filtering here. It's really intriguing to do this way. I think I'm gonna have to start filtering like that. Really, really good way of seeing this. I saved that page so fast. I mean, it's super important because it really helps you like depict and decipher what you're like, what's happening, right? It should be a debug view in game engines for sure to be able to split the image up like this. Really cool. But yeah, you can see in this view, it's much easier to understand what you're looking at versus this one, and it's just a matter of understanding the gray values or the value of your materials. Scene looks pretty cool though. It just needs it might be a little extreme on the storytelling, and there's some elements that don't like that wouldn't be there likely. The stuff that's on the seat, maybe that would be there, but like the spilling of wine and this place got crazy. How do you sign up for a Folio review? That's a great question, Wipeout. So usually you go here. I think it's !review, and it'll take you to a URL, which likely is not open. Google Forms? Yes. Forms. I'm going to open it up really quickly, and then we'll look at the next piece here. Okay. Okay, I believe it is open. Let me know if that doesn't work in the review. Check it as well here really quickly. This form, click that link. Currently closed, come back later. Resume collecting responses. There we go. Okay. You should be able uh, to sign up now. Portfolio reviews are now open. Yay. Filtering what? What's happening? Vince, so you're talking about the where are we at here? The blog post. That's what they're talking about. Let's go ahead and look at this sword. This scene is from an anime, Vinland Saga. Awesome. Yeah, hopefully that helps. It seems cool. It's just very busy. And then the value of the materials is making it hard to read the space. Okay, so we've got this sword here. Hey, look at that sword. Rock looks pretty good. Maybe a detail normal is needed on it, and it'll really like push it over the top. Ooh, there's a crack in there too, and some like what looks like maybe lichen on the top, and then some arrows. This is good. I would get that crack in there, and maybe some of the lichen spots just to get some surface play. Um, Also, you can see the amount of space in the anime. That space you don't have there, and you need that just mainly for like some room to breathe, right? If I copy this image, let's go here. Ooh, yeah, that is bright. Okay, and then this one. Oh, and we'll do it the other way around. You can see there's a lot of rock showing as well. But like if you're looking at just straight up the scene, this is how much framing you're missing. That matches the kind of look and feel. And I know it's not like, oh, I want to copy it exactly or whatnot. But the framing of this is quite good. at least for animes, they tend to center things when they're focusing on something versus like compositionally, we would take this and maybe put it over here and then take this area and maybe put this here. The rock would likely just go like over here, and then this is down here, right? Philip, nice man. Uh, that's awesome. Um, the other thing is you see the angle of the detail to the sword. You probably want to rotate your sword a little bit more towards the camera, and maybe scale up the top of the gem there, or of the hilt, the bottom part of the hilt, or the handle. I'm not sure. The rock feels like the focus, not the sword. I mean, the sword is very small, right? And yeah, this is quite forward. But I think we all know that you're supposed to be looking at the sword, so the framing is fine. It's very anime. I would look at detail normals and the materials, and don't be afraid to bevel some edges. And look at the material of this. Like, what is this? Is this leather? Is this like a metal? Is that a gem? Understanding what is causing the highlights and those details. Lighting feels more top down in the picture. Oh, and the concept, or in this one, it is definitely more top down, and then the shadows are on the back end here. Yeah, the cracks emphasize the strength of the sword. It's like, bam, you hit the rock and it just cracked like that. But pretty cool so far. And look at your framing. I love the grass in the foreground. It's really cool. All right, Philip, what do we got here? What's happening? This is your nanite door. I'd love to hear some feedback on this. For the moment, I am done with it, but I plan to go back one day and make a hallway with some more parts, like pipes, vents, and other modular assets for it, or out of it, rather. So that looks super, super nice, this spot here. I think a lot of these are just suffering from, let's see what the, ooh, that highlight on the inner edge there looks really nice for the frame of the door. That's not creepy at all. Um, there was a point where the bricks were really cloudy. That looks strange. Now they look a little bit better here. They're very dark, though. Blair, hey, no problem, man. I appreciate you taking the time to post. Yeah, the progress on this is pretty cool. This is the original picture, right as the UE5 scene. So I see. All right. I see what's going on here. That's pretty impressive. I mean, I think the thing that sticks out is this wire here for the light, this piece. You can see the highlight on this one and like the fray in the surface. You just need to make it wider and have it a little bit more in front of the light, and it'll get highlighted like that. It'll get a nice highlight on the surface. This part feels a little off, and I think it has to do with the man, you really match that stuff. That's crazy. Yeah, so the material of the box is probably a little too dark on yours. And it looks like there's some front information on the actual one. But when it comes to this presentation here, it's really that's really impressive. Let's see what happens. Is it just seeing how it blows out? You can see where the light's pointing as well when you blow it out like that. But overall, I mean, this is really disturbingly impressive. How close this is. It's really cool. We've got a few more minutes, and I've got 2 to go through. Yeah, I think the bolts on the door are just maybe a little weak in the normal. That's all. They just need to be popping out a bit more. Yeah, so all the contrast is kind of lost in here. Like if you grab this one here, let's see here, and you see the difference in the undershadow there, as well as on the bolts. Same with the bolts on the sides. Oh. Yeah, you get a depression around the bolt as well because it pushes the door's metal in. Definitely, that is a thing. Pretty sick though. All right, Harry. I've been sculpting this. Let's see here. Community. Been sculpting this for half a month. This is my favorite sculpture so far. Fingers aren't finished yet, and base light up scene and basic light up scene. All Blender. Don't have access to ZBrush. Small tier. Okay, let's take a look here. Oh man, this is really high res. Okay, there we go. Okay, so nice. That didn't copy. Hang on here. There we go. So what I would do, honestly, is don't worry about the wings right now. And think about this as your goal to make this character, right? But really go in and understand all of the form. Eric, have a good one, man. Thanks for hanging out. So understanding the form of the body and knowing where we were talking about like cheekbones and the jawline, understanding where the collarbone is, where shoulders and the elbow, how it bends, where your muscles rest, and just understanding all of those details. Like I would just focus on that. Don't try and make a creature yet. This is the end goal, right? Instead of making a creature, I would definitely suggest understanding the human anatomy, and then you can skew it from there. You can start to merge things. Like when I see concept artists taking a humanoid character, and then they want to add wings to it, they also look at like how the wings look on the type of creature that they like. Let's say bat wings, right? They're gonna look at how the bat wing attaches to a bat, and then they also will then extrapolate how the body is shaped for a human, and then understand how those connect and where the muscles would have to go in order for it to work in the way that they assume it would work. So really understanding how to put the body together is super important before you can start to create your own creatures. You've been spending some time learning anatomy, but this was for a school project, so I have something to get marks. Yeah, and I mean that's totally cool. Because at the end of the day, you do have to get your marks in, right? Trying to think of the anatomy is going to be number 1 though. Should check out Ashley Adams' streams on Twitch. She makes monsters in a really chaotic way, but you're bound to pick up some stuff too. Ooh, that's a good Wipeout. You're free to link that in chat if you would like. She's on ZBrush often, right? On the ZBrush channel. I think when it comes to sculpting and understanding anatomy, that's like sculpting is sculpting, right? You need to. It won't matter if you're in Blender or ZBrush. Oh no. Okay. So we are on the last one. Flip Normals has a lot of videos as well on shape and form, also on YouTube. Yeah, they have some really good character stuff. Okay, last piece here. So this is Kedden Bubbles. I'm working on a new scene to bring more color and outdoor environments to the portfolio. Right now, I'm working on more camera angles and composition slash props. So how do those look so far in the scene? I'm pretty early in the making. I plan on it being a frog temple park. So if it's like a frog temple park, I mean, I would go nuts with the really going overboard with the frog details, right? So let's give me a second here. Oh my god, there's actual frog temples. I just decided to search a thing. So think about it like you want your main focus, more trees. Yeah, trees are going to help you with your composition and getting parity between all the trees. Right now, you've got a bunch of different types of trees going on, of varying qualities and color. It's kind of all over. Um, what I would suggest doing is let's make a new layer here. So if you're building like your scene, right? Let's put your frog here. This is our frog. Here's his legs. Don't mind him. He's stoked. There's our frog, right? So you've got your frog. Imagine this is a giant statue and it's in front of like a super large pond. And then you get the lily pads around there. Maybe this pond extends out this way, and then now you can do your bridge here. Right? So you wanna build around this, and then you can have like a tree that's maybe off shot that adds all the little like leaf, like the shadows that are on this giant frog shape, this sculpture of a frog. Again, you've got these like lily pads everywhere. Man, I wish I could concept, because I can see this in my head and it looks terrible right now from what you're seeing here. You get some rocks, and then you've got some shrine stuff that's around the, like you've got this whole backdrop here, right? I think in your scene it's pretty empty. Um, like try not to leave that empty. Put some other, like, even if it's grabbing like a bunch of this red tree and just having it throughout the back, just to break up the distance. I mean, this guy's super centered as well. Like we probably want him more like this. Let's grab this. But yeah, I hopefully this is making sense. Something like that. And then you can have your maybe back here there's the little shrine that you had built as well. That's maybe up on a hill. And then again, you've got all these trees back here. And then this path, right? The path can go off shot and then can come back and go to the shrine. And then the path can continue over here. You have your little bushes, little plants and stuff. The shrine here, another tree maybe. So you're trying to just frame like this, right? And everything is focused on this giant frog. He looks so, I don't know. He's having a good time. But yeah. Cool. I think the only other thing I would say about that before we get out of here is that the parity between everything just needs to be unified. Think about the heights of the grass. Like as it gets closer to the path, the grass should get shorter and kind of more sparse. The texture wise, this looks pretty cool. And think about the lily pads not necessarily being scattered throughout, but kind of gravitating and sticking around objects. But hopefully that was helpful, and you enjoyed my terrible drawing. But yeah, that was good. That was good. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I think. Yes. 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 I'm gonna get out of here. I'm being threatened with a pillow right now. Thanks everyone for hanging out, and I think that was a pretty good stream. If you want to sign up for portfolio reviews, we actually do them as a call. The first batch will actually be next Thursday, so that'll be cool. Be sure to follow the channel, hang out in the Discord if you're new around here, and yeah, we'll start with a focus stream next Monday. But cool. Okay, have a good evening and weekend. I will see you guys later, and thanks again. Bye.